Hi everyone, welcome to our next Maker Monday. I'm Jen here at TELUS World of Science Edmonton, and we have another really cool activity for you this week. So, tell me, between you and me, do you like to go really, really fast? I know I do. So today, we're going to make those dreams come true. So, start thinking like Lightning McQueen, because today we're going to be making cardboard rolling racers. All right, so the first thing you're going to need is a large sort of work surface area. Make sure you check with the grown-up first so that you're using the right surface area. So it could be a table, it could be a smooth floor, just make sure you have permission. The other thing is this activity can get a little bit messy. So if you want to put down maybe some newspaper or a garbage bag first, that can help organize your cleanup at the end. Okay? So we're going to go over all of the materials you need for the rolling racer challenge we have today. So to start with, you're going to need a bunch of scrap cardboard. So it could be like cereal box cardboard, the thin stuff that you get. I also like to use some of the corrugated, the two-sided cardboard. That's really good stuff too. We're also going to need some sticky stuff today. So I have a variety of sticky options for sticking things together. So we have masking tape, we have white glue. White glue is awesome. We have stick glue as well. And if you're so lucky that you have a hot glue gun at home, you can use that as well. I'll be using hot glue today mainly because it's really quick, but actually white glue does work really well as well. So if that's all you got, you're good to go. Okay, today you're also going to need some barbecue wooden skewers. All right, and what else do we got here? I've already pre-cut a bunch of these, but you're going to need some drinking straws. Make sure that the normal size ones and not the teeny tiny cocktail straws. Okay. You're also going to want a pair of good scissors. Make sure that they're the right size for you. So if you have tiny fingers, make sure you use some smaller scissors. Okay. I also have a hole punching tool here. Now you can use an actual hole punch, but I like to use this. It's called an awl. It's used for punching holes in leather. It also punches holes in cardboard really well as well. I also have some markers here that we're going to be using to help us with some marking and also for decorations. I also have some scrap paper. That's going to come in really useful as well. And then you're also going to want to collect a bunch of decorations. I have some rubber bands, some pom-poms, some googly eyes, some craft sticks. You can use pipe cleaners, construction paper, any craft supplies you have lying around the house, you can use those for decorations at the end. All right, so let's start with the design of our car. So I like to use scrap paper that's already been used, so we're recycling. And we're going to draw out a couple of different designs that we might want our car to look like. So you done with your design? Have you chosen one? Great. So now it's time to start building our cars. So we're going to start doing that together, okay? So the first thing you're going to want is to build your car's chassis. What is the chassis, you might ask me? Well, the chassis is the support structure that holds the wheels and all of the important bits of the car. In order to do that, we need to cut out a rectangle from cardboard. Now it actually doesn't have to be a rectangle. It could be a square, it could be an oval. It's going to be the base of your car, so make it the right shape that's going to hold the rest of your other car components on it. But I find it's really easy to start with a rectangle, so that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so once you cut out your cardboard rectangle, we are going to need to add wheels to it. So we're going to create a wheel mechanism. First, grab 2 straws, okay? So I'm going to take the first straw and I'm going to put it on my cardboard so that it's lined up on one side. And what I want to do is I want to take my marker and I want to make a line right here where it meets the other side of the cardboard. Okay? So I can actually take my second straw now and do the exact same thing. So we're going to put another mark here with our marker right where it meets the other edge of the cardboard. Okay? So now that we have those 2 marks, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and we're going to cut right where we made that line. So line it up with our scissors and cut, and you watch out for flying plastic when this happens. There you go. All right, second one. It's like straw fireworks. There we go. There's the second one. Now we have 2 straws ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to tape those straws on to our chassis. Here we go. So I'm using masking tape because I love using masking tape. It's so versatile. You can use it for so many different things. And we're going to use 2 pieces to hold the straw in place. Okay, so that's going to be my front axle. So an axle, that's the bar that holds the 2 wheels on. So that's my front axle is going to go through that straw, and my second straw is going to be the back axle. So we're going to need 2 more pieces of tape for that. Stick that on like that. There we go. Okay. The next material we need is a wooden barbecue skewer. Okay. So pretty much a similar instruction. We're going to put our barbecue skewer through our first straw, and you want to leave a little bit hanging out on the other side. So I like to say use about 1 centimeter. So that's about the width of my finger. If you have smaller fingers, you might want to go with your thumb. So make sure it's hanging over about 1 finger width. And then we're going to take our marker, and then we're going to take our finger and put it on the other side of the straw, and then going down we're going to make a mark on the barbecue skewer so that we can cut it. Okay, so now this part's a little tricky because we are cutting wood. It's light wood, so it doesn't take a lot of effort, but you want to make sure that you do it gently and slowly so that nothing goes flying away. I kind of like to twist my scissors back and forth. And there, now we have barbecue skewer fireworks. So always be careful of flying objects when cutting them. Okay, so that's our first axle. That's going to go through our first straw. And then we're going to take our second one. Okay, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So make sure that it's about 1 centimeter or a finger or thumb width on each side. We're going to make a line, and then we're going to cut it with our scissors. Okay. If you're worried about cutting the barbecue skewer, then you can always ask a grown-up for help with this one, especially because the barbecue skewer can go flying like that. It's a good idea to ask a grown-up for help, just so that things that are flying don't end up going in your eyes. Okay, so we have our 2 axles ready to go. The next step is we want to make our wheels. Now, I've already pre-made some wheels. I have 4 cardboard wheels here, okay? But you can make them in any size that you want. So all sorts of different sizes. Okay, so there's some different sizes of wheels. If you're making your own cardboard wheels at home, I would recommend starting with a piece of cardboard and then grabbing a cup. I'll use my glue stick cup here. Grab a cup that has a round base, and then you can trace the round base with your marker, just like this. Go around the bottom of the cup. Okay, and then you can cut out your wheel, and just make sure you do that for as many times as you need wheels. Again, I'm using 4 wheels today, but hey, if you want to make a car that has 6 wheels or 8 wheels, that's just fine too. Okay, so now we want to attach our wheels to our axles. So the first one's pretty easy to do. Now remember, I said you could use white glue, okay? White glue works really well, but for the sake of doing this quickly today, I'm going to be using hot glue. Remember, if you're using hot glue, that you should have grown-up supervision, because the tip of a hot glue gun is quite hot, and so you need very smooth hands in order to use a hot glue gun. And if you've never used one before, it's important to get a grown-up's help and instruction on using one safely. So I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue, put it in the middle hole, and we're going to stick our barbecue skewer down through the hole. Now, I forgot to mention earlier while that's drying that you do need to make sure you put holes in the very center of each wheel. So I find one of the simplest ways to do that is to either use a sharp pencil to punch through the cardboard, or in my case, I have that awl we talked about earlier, and I can use that to punch holes in wheels as well. Just make sure that if you're using a sharp tool, that you're being safe, and that when you're punching the hole, your fingers aren't behind it so that you don't accidentally stab yourself. Okay, so that's going quite well. So while we're doing that, I'm going to take out this one and we're going to do the back one. I'm going to put a little bit of glue, some hot glue. I just love when hot glue comes out, how it's so liquidy, but you have to move super fast. Otherwise it hardens quite quickly. Now the glue actually does go through the hole and sits on the table, but luckily I have a surface that it doesn't stick very well to, so when I pick it up, oh, it was leaning over there, fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up into the side while it hardens. Okay, so Now this part is probably the trickiest part. We're going to take the barbecue skewer axle and we're going to feed it back through the straw. And now we have to glue it into our other wheel. Okay, so this one's a little trickier because we already have one wheel on. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on that side. Gotta love those hot glue stringers. We used to call them glue webs. Okay, so we're going to put this side of our barbecue skewer, make sure it goes through the hole. There we go. And just a quick tip, make sure you hold the chassis up towards the first wheel you put on, because if it slides down and the straw part gets in the hot glue, your wheels won't be able to spin later. Okay, so I'm going to keep holding that up so that it doesn't fall down. Oh look, it's sticking there already. It's the great thing about hot glue, is it cools so quickly that you really don't need to worry about hanging on to it for too long. Look at that, more of those stringers. So, if you have more wheels, you'll have to keep going and you'll have to do a few more axles. But if you only have 4, then you can stop here and we'll get ready to test them. All right, let's see. It'll be nice and easy because that glue hasn't quite hardened all the way yet. But do you see that? Because we put the axles through the straws first, they're rolling while inside the straws, letting our chassis move from side to side like this. So now is the test component. So we've designed, we've built, now we're going to test what we made. So I would recommend making a race car track or making a ramp somewhere in your house. Again, make sure you ask a grown-up first. And so I've made a ramp just out of a sheet of coroplast, but if you have cardboard or if you have an old, maybe a crazy carpet left over from winter, you can use that to make yourself a ramp somewhere in your house. Okay, so we're gonna test out the chassis that we made. We wanna make sure that the wheels are smooth and even and rolling really, really well. So put it at the top of our ramp. 3, 2, 1, lift off! All right, so for our next test, I thought it would be cool to see if there was a way we could make the car even faster, or to maybe even go even farther. So what I've done is I've attached a glue stick to add a little bit, just a teeny bit of weight to our rolling racer, and I've used 2 elastic bands to strap it on. So let's test it out. Put it at the top of our starting line. In 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, it did go farther. All right, so adding a teeny tiny bit of weight actually helped our car go a little faster and a little farther. So I wonder what will happen if we add even more weight. So I've attached the white glue bottle with 2 rubber bands to our car. And I wonder if that's going to help give it a little more energy to get even farther. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so after testing your chassis again and again with different weights, once you have it right and it's working the way you want it to, now you get to decorate your chassis and turn it into the one-of-a-kind unique car that is truly yours and an awesome rolling racer. I wanted to show you a couple of examples that some of our visitors here have made. So we have some good old-fashioned type race cars. There's a pickup truck here. We have an awesome, I love this one, a little buggy, and there's a little button for a steering wheel. I don't know if you can see that, so I'll turn it around. And we have some opening and shutting doors. This one's pretty cool too. We have a catapult car. And then you don't even have to build a rolling racer if you don't want to. This one, we have a steam engine train. Isn't that cool? So you can make anything you want. I love cardboard because it is so versatile. So I'm really excited to see what your rolling racers look like. When you're done, if you could post them below, post a picture, that would be fantastic. You can also tweet them to us at #MakerMonday, and have a great time with your rolling racers, guys. Cheerio.